Welcome to the channel. I read an interesting stat the other day that in 2024, over 500,000 people moved out of the UK to go and live abroad. And from someone that's thought about it myself, I was interested to see why. So I watched, I don't know how many videos, 5, 6, 7 different videos of people that have already moved abroad or are thinking of it, just to see what their reasons were for doing it. One of the points that kept coming up in videos is just the cost of living, of living and trying to survive in this country, how we're overtaxed on absolutely everything. House prices are going up, rent's going up, food's going up. It's just wages aren't rising enough to keep up with it, and it's just putting so many people in a financial mess, really. There was an underlying tone in a lot of these videos. Some outrightly said it, but a lot skirted around the issue. But you could tell that just a complete loss of trust in the government system, the two-party system. I know people talk about reform. I don't think that's the answer. I think they'll be just as bad as Labour and Conservative, in my opinion. But just having a leader or leaders that just constantly lie, you feel like they don't have the people's best interests at heart. And that came through on a lot of these videos. And it's one of the reasons I've considered leaving the UK. It's been like that since I can really remember. I've never really trusted any governments, even when things like I thought in the 90s weren't too bad. Even then, I didn't trust politicians. They all lie. They all lie their way to the top, stab people in the back or each other in the back. Blame. It's just a big pantomime, really. A big staged show just to wind people up. I think nowadays it's just every decision seems to anger people, and I think people have just got so disillusioned with it. They're packing their stuff and leaving to go elsewhere, and I can't blame them. I really can't. I don't know what happened as a country, but I've noticed this eroding of it over the years, that we've lost the ability to communicate with each other. We've lost the ability to be able to discuss and talk about things that are important matters that are going on in the country or in the world. It's like if someone shares an opinion, their opinion, which they're entitled to, about anything really, immigration, politics, the government, anything, if there's someone that disagrees with them, it descends into nastiness. There's no debating anymore. I've seen it firsthand on this channel. I put a video out a few months ago about wanting to leave the UK because I feel like it could be a better life elsewhere. It's not about escaping and running away. And I think it's my second most popular video, but you get people that are just nasty about it. And I've seen it with other people's videos. It doesn't matter what subject it is. If people disagree with you, they call you a racist, they call you far right, they call you left, they call you woke, they call you this. They just call names at you. There's no more debating. There's no more discussions like adults. We all have our own opinions. We're allowed to disagree with each other. The world's like that. Not everything's black and white. There's a lot of grey areas in the world. But that really saddens me, how you can't have an opinion anymore that goes against the grain without being labelled those things I've just mentioned, a racist, a bigot, or if you want to leave the country to make a better life elsewhere for your family, you're a coward, you're running away, you should stay and fight. But fight for what? What is there to fight for? This country, I love it. I love being English. I really do. But do I have to spend the rest of my life fighting just to get a word out, fighting against hateful comments and hateful people, fighting against the politicians that just lie to you? I just want a peaceful life for me and my family, somewhere where the weather's nice and it's not raining most of the time and it's grey. Today's a lovely day, don't get me wrong. We do get quite nice summers in the UK. But life's too short to have to keep fighting constantly. It's draining. We're not brought on this planet just to keep fighting with each other and fighting the system just to try and get our heads above water. We're not. Anyway, that's my little rant on the matter. Going back to what other people are saying in their videos, another big one's climate. I like warm weather. I like it hot. And although summers in the UK are nice, I don't like the cold in the winters. I don't like the dark, gloomy, rainy, windy weather. And I know you get that in other countries, but I would love to live ideally in a climate where it's warm pretty much all year round. I love that sort of thing. But that's just me. Other people are the opposite. Other people like the cold. Maybe they're moving to climates that are a bit colder, like Canada or something. I get the sense from these videos that people just feel a bit more free, a bit more part of a community, being part of a country that's probably a little bit more relaxed. These weren't all in the same countries. I think a video was in Thailand, I think Portugal, possibly Spain. I can't remember now. I watched, like I say, 6 or 7 of them, something like that. And I see from the comments on my videos, a lot of people have left the UK and emigrated, whether it be to all different parts of the world. And not many have regretted it. Not many have come back to the UK by the sounds of it. Not many admitted they've made a terrible mistake and all come rushing back to the UK. It doesn't seem to happen. Once people leave the UK, their lives seem to just get better and thrive. I know that's not in 100% of the cases. I'm just going on the videos I've watched and the comments I've seen on my channel. People feel like they're getting over-regulated in this country. ULEZ charges. Like I said previously, you talk out about something, you're lambasted, you're called names, you're frowned upon. And it's just people's opinions that are people are getting put into a position where they're afraid to speak what they want to speak about. I'm not just talking about on YouTube, I'm just talking about in general life. I think people that think maybe slightly differently to everyone else are made to feel an outcast, and it shouldn't be like that. People should be able to disagree and have adult conversations without it turning into backwards and forwards and egos getting involved and I'm right, you're wrong, and you're a racist. And it's a shame that it's descended into this. I know governments don't help. I think a lot of stuff they put out is divisive and deliberately done to make people argue, but we shouldn't fall for it. We shouldn't go along with it just because it's on their agenda to make us all fight with each other. We shouldn't have to. We shouldn't let ourselves get dragged down into their low vibration and of wanting chaos in this country, because that's what the politicians want. They want chaos at the moment. It's obvious. Every single decision just is causing chaos, left, right and centre. I suppose it depends which country you go to, but I think a lot of people feel like they're safer in certain other countries nowadays compared to the UK, especially in cities, inner cities. And I know people push back on this, but I do feel like it's a more violent time now. I know there's always been crime, and with social media and the news and the internet, it's more out there, it's more shown to us, where maybe in the 70s and 80s and 60s or whatever, it just wasn't news then. But I remember going to school, and this is how it's changed. I could go to school, we'd just walk in. There was no fences around it. There's no gates to get in. You just walked in, walked out, and even at night would go and play around, running around the school as kids around the outside, not actually in the buildings. And you could do that. And a few years after me leaving school, I went back to that school, and it was like a prison, fences all the way around it. But they definitely had big gates around it, like a prison. And it's just, that's not the time I grew up in. I could walk around my local village at night and feel safe when I was growing up. I wouldn't walk around there. If I went back there now, I don't think I'd want to walk around some parts of that. I call it a village, it was pretty much a town. I know I'll probably get some pushback on this video, and that's understandable. It happens. But it's not necessarily about escaping the UK. There are a number of reasons to want to get out of the UK at the moment, I believe. Some people like myself just want to experience other cultures and other countries, and I'd love to go travelling again at some point. And if while travelling I found a country, this is all dreams by the way, but I found a country that I was comfortable in and they'd have me, I don't see there's any harm in wanting to improve your life, and if that means living in a foreign country, I don't see any harm in that. As long as you do everything correctly, you get the visas you need, or they accept you in. Now, just to wrap it up, guys, I was just interested to see why people wanted to leave. I kind of knew what most of the reasons would be, and it was confirmed in the videos, but I think people have just had enough. And it's not necessarily always escaping the UK. Sometimes it's just leaving to try and improve your life. If someone moves town to a town the other side of the country, no one bats an eyelid. If you move country, it's like, oh, you're running away, or you're doing this, you're doing that. People move every day of the week, because they're trying to improve their lives. And if someone wants to move abroad, as long as it's done correctly, I don't see any harm in it. I was interested why people are leaving. And I say leaving because not everyone is escaping the UK. Some people are just generally leaving the UK. And if people are escaping the UK, it's down to them. It really is. They shouldn't be slated for wanting to do it, to wanting to better their lives. They've obviously seen something in the UK that I see that isn't good at the moment, and they've chosen to try and better their lives. I don't see any harm in that. It's not a case of should stay and fight. People just want to live. People just want to enjoy their lives. And if moving out of the country is the way for them, then so be it. That's how it should be. Anyway, I'll probably get pushed back on this sort of thing, but I'm used to it now. Anyway, guys, take care wherever you are, and have a good rest of your day.